welcome back to Freeform Lifestyle and another Ninja Foodi 15-in-1 recipe. This is a great one-pot meal, but we're going to cook it in 2 stages. So it is my gorgeous Bolognese pie, and the topping is red pesto mashed potato. It is so delicious. So we're going to start by putting the potatoes in and pressure cooking those like we normally do. If you don't want to do that, you can boil them on the hob, that's your alternative. And then we literally take the potatoes out, we make the Bolognese, and then we can top it. Now I'm doing this first thing in the morning because by the time I get home from school with my son later, we have a quick turnaround to get back out the door for basketball. The great thing about this sort of recipe is that you can make it ahead of time, let it cool, pop it in the fridge, and then later on I can just put it on to bake in the Ninja and we have got a dinner. Let me show you how to make it. I've peeled and chopped up my potatoes, as you can see there. They're all in my pot, ready to be pressure cooked. And I've made up some stock. So potatoes is around 1.2 kilograms of potatoes. And then we've got 700 millilitres of stock. And you can use whatever stock you want. I'm going with a veggie one today. So let's get that lid closed. Let's put the valve onto seal at the top there. You've probably seen me do this so many times now, so you know exactly what we're doing. So we just switch that over so that we can pressure cook. We want a quick release on high, 10 minutes. So I'm going to be using some beef mince, 5% steak mince for this, so that's nice and lean. And then we've got a couple of carrots there, which I'm going to dice up, and also a pepper, we're going to dice that up as well. We've got dried mixed herbs, we've got garlic granules, but of course you can use fresh garlic if you prefer. I tend to use these because garlic doesn't really suit me too well. And then we've got passata, I've got a little bit left over in here that I was going to use up, and then some sun-dried tomato, red pesto, and that's what's going to flavour the mash, and we can put in cream or milk and some butter as well, make that super delicious. Maybe even a little bit of parmesan actually, that would also be really yummy on this. Now I want quite a fine dice on these carrots because these are, being a root vegetable, these take obviously more cooking, so the finer we can chop these, the quicker they're going to cook, and we do want them soft in this. Now I always think with a Bolognese, the longer you cook it for, the better the flavour. Of course, we could just put this on to slow cook and leave it on for hours and hours, but when we've got pressure cook on our Ninja, there really is zero need to slow cook most things. I was so impressed the other day, I made a beef pie and I didn't slow cook the meat, I pressure cooked it, and it was so much better, it was amazing. Potatoes are lovely and tender. All we need to do now is lift these, are heavy, and drain those. So let's pour them into here. Look, you can see how soft they are. Last few, in you go. What's hot? I'm not going to even bother cleaning the pot, I really don't see the point. So I'm just going to let those steam. We can reuse some of that stock if we want to, and then we'll make our mashed potatoes. So just leave those there for a moment. Let's start on the Bolognese and we'll come back to those. Got the Ninja onto sear and saute. Just spraying some oil in the bottom there. I have chopped up really finely some smoked bacon. So that's 2 rashers that I'm using. Getting a little sizzle on that, which is great. So now we can go in with our very finely diced carrots and also our red pepper. Try not to spill this everywhere. So we're just going to give these 2 or 3 minutes in here, and I've got this on a high sear and saute. Whilst those vegetables are softening, we're going to add in some butter, a little bit of cream, or you can add milk. I decided I am going to go with some parmesan, so I've got one that's already grated. I'm just eyeballing this. You can add in as much as you like, really. It's probably a decent tablespoon. And then also that red pesto. So we want to really taste that pesto. So that's probably around 2 tablespoons. Let's have a look when we mash that, what that seems like. I absolutely love making my potatoes in the pressure cooker. They are just so soft and so easy to mash. Of course, you could mash these up in your Ninja pot. However, you would want to use a silicone masher, and I haven't got one, mine's metal, which is why I just transfer it over to my saucepan like this. Let's just have a little taste of that mash. Just grab a little bit out of there. Let's just see if we've got enough pesto in there. It's lovely. If you want more, add more. I think 2 good tablespoons, 2 to 3 is just a really nice, kind of subtle amount without it being too overpowering. Now we can put in our beef mince. So this is just literally just to brown it off, and then we can start adding our flavours in. Let's add some black pepper. I like quite a lot of black pepper with my beef, some salt. I meant to mention earlier that you can actually add an onion to this as well. Again, it's just because I'm avoiding onion and garlic as much as possible, I'm not adding that in today, but of course you can. It's going to give you extra flavour and make a lovely base. I'm putting in around a tablespoon of garlic granules, and then a tablespoon of some dried mixed herbs as well. So next ingredient is a tablespoon of tomato puree. Oh, it's hard to squeeze it in when you haven't got much left in the tube. And then also to that I have got a beef stock cube, which I have dissolved in 250 millilitres of water. In there as well was a little bit of that leftover passata I had, but now I'm going to put in the rest of the passata, which is 500 grams. Now we can close the lid, that is all done. Push it over to pressure cook side, and we're going to keep that on high. We're going to have a natural release on it, and I'm going to give that 20 minutes under pressure. So the pressure cooking has finished, and I had a little bit of excess liquid, so I just want to reduce that down a bit further. So I've popped it onto sear and saute, and then once that's reduced down, we can top it with our mash. This thickened up really easy, and it's thickened even more now that it's started to cool down. Obviously you don't want it too sloppy because your mashed potato is just going to melt into it. Mash is cooled as well, so I'm just going to top this. Once it's fully cold, we can then put it in the fridge and then heat it later. Of course, if you're making this and you want to eat it straight away, then you can do that. I'm just going to put it onto bake, and that's going to give us a nice crispy top to the mash, and it's going to make sure that everything is nice and warm underneath. That looks absolutely fab. Now I'm just going to add a little bit more parmesan to the top, because when we bake it, that's going to melt and ooze and be lovely. Look at this. Looks absolutely gorgeous. A little bit more on that plate. Look at that filling. Yummy. I'm serving some peas on the side, and let me give you a close up. Oh yes, looks good, doesn't it?